I don't think that it's a good idea for anyone to ever purchase a bottled dressing. The reason is that you don't know what kind or quality of ingredients that the manufacturer has put in that bottle. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are a couple out there that are really super, but for the most part, they're not. They contain poor oils, poor spices. If it looks separated, the average consumer won't buy it, so they add thickeners to it. What I want to show you today is how to make 3 incredible dressings. But these dressings aren't just for salad. These dressings are awesome to dress on top of chicken or fresh grilled fish. You're going to be in for a real treat today, and I'm looking forward to show you how to do it. When you go to these club warehouses, you buy bags of oranges and bags of limes and bags of lemons. And granted, they will last a long time, but isn't it fantastic if you could use a bunch of them just to make fresh squeezed juice that you can actually use in your dressing? And that's one of the great things about being able to make your own dressing as well. First dressing that I'm going to show you how to make today is one that I use everywhere. It's a simple lemon dressing with olive oil. We're going to need to juice some lemons and cut up some garlic. This is a really easy way of peeling garlic. You just smash it. The skin comes right off. The finer you can mince the garlic, the better it is. So this lemon dressing is so utilitarian. You could use it anywhere. I'm just going to pour in 2 ounces of lemon juice, fresh squeezed organic lemon juice. To this, a tablespoon of Celtic sea salt, a flat tablespoon, not too crazy. A half teaspoon of oregano, a 1/4 teaspoon of this mustard. I'm just gonna mix that in there. I wanna get all this mustard off of the spoon. I'm gonna put in a 1/4 teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper. I'm sorry, I apologize. 1/8 of a teaspoon. This gets a lid so that we can shake the seasoning. You keep shaking this until you can't hear the salt hit the top any longer. And you take a quick look at the bottom and make sure that it's dissolved. Open it up and add your olive oil to it. It's a 4-to-1 ratio, 25% lemon juice to 75% olive oil. There's that mark there. Yeah, almost forgot my one of the main ingredients, garlic. Tablespoon of crushed fresh garlic, fresh minced garlic. So this lemon dressing is not only phenomenal for a salad, it's fantastic for grilled chicken. It's unreal on grilled vegetables and especially fresh grilled fish. Very important that this dressing is refrigerated. It has to be refrigerated. Garlic in an oil mixture creates an anaerobic environment, and if there's any bacteria on that garlic and you consume this dressing after it's been sitting at room temperature for any length of time, you can die. Make sure that you put this dressing in the refrigerator. If that's a concern for you, replace the fresh garlic with a powdered or granulated garlic. I would say to this, I would add about a teaspoon of powdered garlic. This is your lemon, garlic, olive oil dressing. Fantastic on everything. This is a red wine vinegar dressing. However, I like to taste all of my vinegars before I add them to a dressing because each vinegar imparts its own unique flavor. And I came across this fantastic Spanish sherry vinegar and the flavor just really popped out at me. So I'm going to use this instead. The difference between using this kind of a vinegar and a red wine vinegar is simply preference. Unlike the lemon olive oil dressing we just made, the first dressing, the difference is that with vinegar, you want to go a little heavier than you would with lemon juice. So with this vinegar, you're going to use 30% vinegar to 70% olive oil, just a little different. But the concept is exactly the same. We take a tablespoon of Celtic sea salt to half a tablespoon oregano to a half a tablespoon of black pepper. Then we're gonna add a little bit over our mark on the mason jar. We're gonna go above that number 2 to a little over that with our sherry vinegar. Just a little right there. So it's a little bit more than 25%, it's 30%. We're gonna cover this and shake it and dissolve the salt into the vinegar. You can hear that. That you got to shake up really well. As you shake it up a little bit, like if you kind of do it quickly, it'll almost emulsify, but not quite as if you were using an emulsifier, like an emulsification blender. It still works okay. That's it. So simple. Dressing number 2. Fantastic on salads that have cheeses in them, like feta cheese. Something about vinegar, feta cheese, and cucumbers and tomatoes, which is it's just spectacular. I love this dressing. So good. Now, you may make this dressing and say to yourself, geez, that was an awful lot of vinegar. I needed it to be more vinegary. Just do what you want. Whatever brings you joy. The third dressing that we're making today is the one I'm most excited about because it is so delicious, and especially in the spring and the summer, it's a wonderful dressing to add to your salads. It's a ginger, orange juice, lime juice dressing. So orange, ginger, lime dressing. Fine, we'll call it that. The oranges at Costco are always spectacular, and so are the limes. As finely as you can, mince up that ginger. So really the hardest part about this is squeezing the juice from the oranges and the limes and the lemons. On a pita scale, I would give this 1.5. 2 ounces of lime juice. Roughly 4 ounces of orange juice to that. 2 ounces of lime juice, 4 ounces of orange juice. 1 tablespoon of Celtic sea salt, 2 tablespoons of ginger, minced fine as you can. And about a 1/4 teaspoon of dry mustard. Again, we want that salt to dissolve in there nicely. I no longer hear it. I no longer see it. The salt is dissolved. Now, I'm not gonna add olive oil to this dressing, and the reason is because the olive oil is gonna impart a flavor profile in there that I don't think goes very well with the orange juice, the lime juice, and the ginger. So I'm just gonna use my avocado oil for that. And again, take it up to the, let's see, I think it's like the last mark here. It's hard to see on this these graduations here, but basically it's a 50% ratio of juice to avocado oil. The nice thing about this dressing too is that the avocado oil is gonna make it more like an emulsification. I don't know how to explain it, but it imparts a silkiness to the dressing that almost makes it like an emulsification. That's that. Give that a taste. You could almost drink this stuff, it's so good. Oh, that on a salad is amazing. I would take a salad with avocados in it, cubed up cucumbers, maybe even some mandarin oranges, some toasted almonds or some toasted pecans. You really don't want to leave the dressings in the mason jars because it makes it really, really hard to pour them out. I collect these bottles. Like, this was a beautiful brandy that I purchased from Shin Estate Vineyards, which is a local winery here. They make their own brandy, and it's a beautiful bottle. So I figured I could use this to store my dressing in, but it's also pretty cool. Like, if you want to, if someone really likes your dressing, they're like, oh, that dressing's fantastic, you may want to give it to them as a gift. So you could transfer these to some cool bottles, and then it makes it much easier to pour. But if you, whatever you do, just make sure that you leave yourself enough room so that you can shake the dressing. Doesn't that make a nice little gift? Look how cool that is. It's pretty. The dressings are seasoned perfectly for the flavor of the dressing. What do I mean by that? It's not excessively vinegary, it's not excessively salty. If you were to take a teaspoon of it and eat it, you wouldn't have a negative reaction to it. That does not mean that pouring it on your salad is going to make the salad taste good. So in upcoming episodes, I'm going to show you tips and tricks that you can use in conjunction with these 3 amazing dressings to make salads that are phenomenal. It's not just about drizzling dressing on the salad. It's about adding other spices and ingredients to that salad to maximize the flavor profile of the different vegetables that are in that salad or ingredients that are in that salad. So in an upcoming episode, we'll be using these dressings. Make them, keep them in your house with exceptional oils, never skimp on your oils, and you'll be so thankful you'll never buy another bottle of dressing again. Thank you for tuning in.